What's up, everybody? Welcome again to the Chasing Creativity podcast. This is episode 5 with Ashe. Today's episode is with music producer Ashe. Ashe is an incredibly talented producer, very unique style, touches on techno, melodic techno. To give a real good sense of his style and his music, I'll be playing a short clip of a song before we jump into the episode itself. So look for that at the end of this portion and jumping into the actual episode. Now, I myself am very excited to have done this episode. It was really, really cool. But reason I was so excited is I have a feeling that this guy is like right on the border of getting some major recognition in terms of getting on a big label. I really believe that. Reason being, he's placed top 10 in a couple competitions as of recently for his music. So the first one being Deadmau5's Masterclass. He placed top 10 in a user submission there. He also placed top 10 in a remix put on by Deadmau5 for the song Let Go featuring Grabbitz. So right there, he's already kind of, on the map, if you will. And then also on Mau5trap Mondays, where Deadmau5 would stream, listen to user submissions, he listened to Ashe's submission and he loved it. So I think this guy's like right on the border, and it was super cool to talk with him because he goes through where he started like 10 years ago, all the work he's put in to get to where he is today, and he also goes into the process of going through those remix competitions, or that remix competition, that music competition, and being featured on Mau5trap Mondays, which is super cool. So anyways, that's what we get into in the podcast. We talk about how he makes his music and his process of, what he's done over these last 10 years. So, important pieces. If you're interested in learning more about him, search SoundCloud, Ashe, that's A-S-H-E, all caps. You can also search that followed by Little King is the song that was featured on Mau5trap Mondays. That's a good way to find him on SoundCloud. Search on Spotify, Instagram, he's at Ashe Official, Twitter, Ashe_official. And lastly, he is doing a radio show. So this radio show is going to be out September 15th. That's going to be Saturday, September 15th, 2018 at 11 p.m. EDT. So check that out. It's a radio show called Bumpin' the Hump with Ogie James. And Ashe is going to be doing some previously released music as well as a ton of new releases. So check that out. It's an awesome way to listen to some new tracks, especially if you've listened to his music before or you listen to some of his music here and want to hear new music. So that's it. Check out that radio show again, September 15th, 2018, 11 p.m. EDT, Bumpin' the Hump with Ogie James. We talk about it in the podcast as well. But that is it. Check out the episode. I think it's an awesome one, and hope you enjoy it. Cool. Well, let's kick this thing off. So one, thank you for doing this, man. I know it's kind of new what I've been doing here. It's kind of in its early stages for me, but I really appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah, that's cool. Everybody starts somewhere.
Yep. Yeah. So let's just kind of start by maybe introducing yourself and digging into kind of how you got to where you are today in the music.
It's a long story.
That's what I like.
Okay, so I go by the alias Ashe, which is actually just my last name because I'm very creative. I started doing this in 2007. My older brother was actually a DJ back in the day. He was like a vinyl DJ, actual DJ. And he didn't produce any music, but I was in way the fuck out in the woods in the country. So I barely had any internet. I didn't have any money. I didn't have anything to do. And I was always kind of curious about, how do they actually make electronic music? That was, that's such a weird thing that they do that I don't know how they do. Cause like when you're a folk singer, you have a guitar and a voice. And back then I had no idea. So I searched it up, did a bunch of research, and I downloaded my first digital audio workstation, which was Reason 3 at the time.
Oh yeah.
Which I made really shitty music on. I had they weren't even Logitech computer speakers. It was like a Windows Millennium XP edition computer or something before that. And everything sounded bad for like 9 or 10 years. I won't skip over all of it. So I'm like, yeah, so like 10 years later, here I am. So I eventually switched over to Mac, went on to Logic, moved to Vancouver, kept working on the music thing. And I thought I had my first break in 2011 when I signed on to Judge Jules' record label, which I don't know if you know Judge Jules. He's like an old school DJ from back whenever he did Global Warm Up on BBC Radio 1. He was in the DJ Mag top 10, like number 1 a few years, I think. He was like an old OG DJ. So I sent him a song.
Yeah, so that's, yeah,
go ahead.
No, I'm just saying like that's huge being in, what is that? So that's 4 years in and right. 2011 from 2007 to 2011. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that. It was like 4 years in.
Okay. Yeah. And so you're getting kind of some feedback from an OG.
Oh yeah, he loved it. He sent me a message because I was just like, "Do you want to listen to my song? I went to one of your shows in Montreal like 2 years ago, and I think you might like it." And he's like, "Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna sign it to this new record label." So I was like, "Oh my god, I made it. I'm done. I can retire now." And that wasn't the case. It took another year for it to come out, like most labels do. And when it came out, nothing really happened from it. He did play it on the radio. It was really cool. I couldn't book any gigs from it. I started having creativity issues because I think when I wrote it, I lived on my own, and then I immediately moved into a house with like 6 other people, and it was just fucking chaos and annoying all the time. So my creativity went away. The contract exclusivity thing went away. And I was like, oh, I didn't make it. But it was really cool because, to hear Judge Jules say my name because I knew him and I've seen him play. And it was so cool because he's like, oh, gee, that's the kind of stuff I grew up listening to from electronic was these old guys like, Ferry Corsten back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Sander Van Doorn's Identity podcast right when it came out was like, so big in my electronic life. And then I moved to Toronto. And I kept kind of making music. I was in a super long relationship that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Fizzled out. Fizzled out. That's the word I'm looking for, not filtered. And I started really focusing on making music in 2016 or 2017, like the beginning of 2017. And that's when I think the first time I got any kind of recognition was Deadmau5 held the Let Go remix competition.
Right,
and
right.
I like, guiltily enough, I only spent 1 day on it.
Wow.
Because I was going somewhere and I was like, Deadmau5 had this contest out and I said, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
So I opened up the project, couldn't make anything sound good, and then I essentially just reopened it before I left, spent a couple hours on it, and then I posted it and I left, and then I was back home, and the family business is painting, and I was painting fucking cupboards, and my phone blew up, and it's like Mau5trap tweeted me out, and they're like, "Oh, you did good, like Ashe, like we liked your song," and Grabbitz actually commented on it, and he said he really liked it.
Damn.
The remix I did, and I was like, holy shit, but I'm stuck in the fucking middle of nowhere. So then I tweet at Mau5trap, and I'm like, hey, I want to send you more music, and they said, slide into our DMs. Oh, here's the second time John thought he made it. Yeah, no, that was the tweet, slide into our DMs. I was like, cool. So I did, and they never responded to me.
Oh, yeah.
Which is typical Mau5trap fashion,
right?
And then fast forward a little more from that, I was really getting into doing music more and more and more. Like I keep saying that, but like to the point where I was spending 8 hours a day, all my evenings, just working on music. And then Deadmau5 was like, I have a master class coming out. So I think I was one of the first people to subscribe for it because I got to watch it early, watch the whole thing, and then all of a sudden they said, hey, we're having an original music competition, which is way more appealing to me.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of doing remixes, but original music, that's all I like to do is make original music.
Right.
So I spent the whole month working on Everything Was Beautiful in a coffee shop. Shout out to the Brockton Haunt, which was my that was where I worked on music for like a whole summer. And then I knew I was gonna get top 10. I know that's funny to say, but I kept calling home, and my mom's like, "Oh, how's the song going?" And I'm like, "It's like I don't think I'll be top 10 yet." And then one point,
and then you knew.
I listened to it. I was like, "Yeah, this is top 10, at least top 10, maybe top 3. I don't think it'll win, but I'm pretty positive it's top 10 right now."
Yeah.
And then I got the fucking email at like 10 or 11 o'clock one night, and I ran out and I was just like, I'm in top 10. Damn. I got it. I want $1,000, which was pretty huge for me.
Totally. Yeah. That's awesome, man. So would you say then, so 2011 was like kind of that big initial breakthrough, and between 2011 and 17, was there a lot of emphasis on making music, or was it kind of a lull and then you just ramped it up around that time and were just diving in?
It was a big lull for a while. I was in a relationship for like 4 years that just took all of my energy and time and creativity and all my juices.
Yeah.
And I'll bring up my SoundCloud analytics right now. You can see it. It's visibly apparent that I was in the wrong headspace. So it's like 2011, there was 4,000 plays for the year. Sick. 2012, there was 1,400.
Yeah.
And then it progressively drops down to 1,200 in 2014. Then you go to 2017, and I capped at 19,556. That was because of the whole Mau5trap thing, which is really crazy. Right. Yeah. And as of this year, I'm about halfway to that. And I have a couple more things coming out. Mind you, the biggest thing was Deadmau5 liking the song on the stream. Which is the next part of the story. So, didn't hear anything from Mau5trap after the masterclass contest. Then finally, Deadmau5 had his Mau5trap Mondays, and I was at fucking work at the warehouse, and somebody messaged me and said Deadmau5 is streaming right now, and he's listening to people's music, and I was like, fuck, I'm not home for another 2 hours, and he's streaming right now. I actually cut my thumb really bad at that day at work, like maybe 30 minutes before I went home. So I cut my thumb open super bad. I wrapped it all up. Going home, I was kind of watching the stream. I'm like, fuck, he's listening to all these people's music. This is like he's bookmarking stuff. And then finally I got home, and I'm fucking bleeding everywhere. So I'm doing it with my one hand. I'm just like tapping away in the keyboard. Yeah. And I had one song that I just finished after Everything Was Beautiful, and I thought everything before that was just fucking garbage, because that's what being a musician is all about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you think it's amazing, if you're like, oh, I put it out in a day and it's fucking the best thing of all time, it is actual garbage.
Yeah, it's just
that's a fact.
It immediately sucks. So that's actually a side tangent. That's the worst thing about the music industry is when you sign a song, it usually takes a year to come out, and by the time it fucking comes out, you hate it. You're just like, I don't want to be like right, I made this because it sounds like ass.
Yeah, and you progress over years, like as you should. You know, if you're working on it constantly, it's gonna change. It's gonna get better.
And then
absolutely,
it totally ramps up when you start really taking it seriously and you start getting to this level. It's like it incrementally gets smaller, the distance between you getting better and better. So you start, it's like you see a turnaround in a year, then you see a turnaround in 6 months, and then before you know it, it's like every month you're learning something new.
Right.
And it sounds leaps and bounds above what you just did.
Yep.
And it's crazy because then your discography goes to shit because you just keep making better and better and better and better stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why you see big artists like Deadmau5 hate his older stuff. Because he's just like, we love it. Like, I have actually his CD, random album title in my hand right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he won't play this shit anymore.
No.
Because in his eyes, it's like, this is produced like shit. I can do so much better now. And we're like, this is the best thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Right.
So I got home. I watched, I don't know, I had an earbud in my ear listening to it because I wasn't on my computer or something. I was waiting to hear my name. And then all of a sudden I heard Deadmau5 say, like Ashe official, this is the last one.
Yeah, yep, I remember that. Yeah, because he mentions it's the last one.
Yeah. Which was crazy in its own right. He's like, you better, it scared the shit out of me. I brought my computer up and I'm like, guys, everybody come in. And Deadmau5 immediately says what all my friends are watching. He's just like, don't fuck this up.
Yeah.
We have to go out on a strong note. If this sucks, like you're a piece of shit almost. And I looked at my friends. I was like, oh, okay. And he listened to it, and it was the moment. I think there was the second drop that he listened to. He listened to a bit of the melody, and the second drop hit. And he sits up in his seat because he couldn't light a cigarette the whole time he was watching it because he kept kind of getting into it. And he made this weird squelchy sound, like this sound.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck yeah.
Yep.
I've impressed him.
Yeah.
And then what was he saying after? He was saying, this is the kind of caliber that you see on Mau5trap.
Yep.
And he said he's not signed because everybody in the side was saying, he's the next signed artist.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's not signed. We're going to have our people look into it.
Yeah.
But keep an eye on your inbox.
God.
Never got that email.
Fucking A.
But
yeah.
That's a story across the board from a lot of guys from ft.Grabbitz Mondays.
Right.
Is nobody got the email.
He goes, check your inbox, and then nothing. Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah. But still, even regardless of everything, for me, if I were in that similar situation where Deadmau5 is listening to a song I made, and he says, this is fucking good, and this is the caliber of music I put on my list. Like, that's it, man.
Dude,
I could die happy.
That gave me all of the clout that I needed forever.
Oh, forever.
That's why people who are familiar with Discord, I'm in a lot of these servers as like kind of like a higher up guy in them and stuff. And, people give a shit about my opinion, which I think is super weird. But it's because of that. When Deadmau5 is like, I don't have anything to teach you, people were like, oh, who's this Ashe guy? What's his
that's a big statement.
Fucking deal?
Yeah, that's a huge statement. That's incredible, man. And it's cool that it's been a process. It's been like 10 years, right? So that's easily, so cool. Yeah, because, a lot of people would look at it and be, even, let's say at 2011 when you got that first kind of break, and then things fizzle out a bit, a lot of people would stop right there and be like, well, I kind of tried it, it didn't work, and that's kind of it. But anyone I've seen that really makes strides in anything is something will catch, and then they'll get knocked down, but then they just keep working and keep working and keep working.
That's the biggest killer of a career is giving up.
Yeah.
You're your own worst enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so much so.
And
it's crazy.
Especially with music, because you have to be so critical of what you're making, because you want it to be at a certain caliber that's, that it's good. So I think a lot of times people get overly critical of their music, and they're like, okay, well, my music sucks, and then it's an easy scenario to be like, I hate my music, nothing's working. It's tough to keep grinding, but people that keep doing it and put in the time, it clicks,
Well, yeah, it's really easy to give up.
Yeah.
Like, not doing something is so much easier than doing something.
Right.
And it applies to fucking everything.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
going to the gym. You know what's easier than going to the gym? Not going to the gym. just sitting down somewhere and not doing anything.
Yep.
And so many people fail because of that, because they just, when times get tough, you give up. I will make tons of shitty music. I still make tons of shitty music every day, but I put in the time.
Yep.
Every fucking day. I'll sit there and I'll make garbage music for a whole week straight.
Right.
And I hate it. And I hate myself and I'm miserable. And then all of a sudden it just clicks because I pushed through all the bullshit.
Totally. And I mean, same thing applies when, you'll see Deadmau5 stream and he's working on a song. And now he's at a caliber where he'll work on something and I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking fire. And he'll say, this is shit. And then he'll take it up 10 more notches. And then at that point, you're like, okay, this is like God tier. But you, like me personally, I would have stopped at that first notch. You know what I'm saying? So
totally.
I think a lot of times if someone is just, if they think everything they put out is fucking gold, it's going to sound like shit. And you're never going to continue to work on it and have that hypercritical piece of your mind saying this is shit, and keep pushing through it, and then suddenly something clicks and then it's something real. But it's that process of going through and making it better and better and better.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's an interesting beast, man. It's a freaking grind. Oh, but it's fun in the same sense. It's fucking awesome. So that was a big thing I wanted to definitely talk about is, when I joined the Discord, you were talking about people that will see you in Discord and you'll be kind of like upper level, and people look at you. And right when I saw that YouTube video and started listening to your music, I mean, I was in that boat. I was like, holy shit, this Ashe dude, who the fuck is this guy?
It's so weird. It's so weird when you get like internet renowned for things, even if it's just a small amount. And I'm not tooting my horn and saying, oh, I've got this big renown, but you have the ability to suddenly talk to people who know you.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the crazier things that happened to me recently was I was looking through my SoundCloud analytics, and do you know Adam K from?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Adam K was listening to my music.
Fucking A, man.
And I was like, I was like, what do you think? What do you think of my music? And he's just like, what did the fuck did he say? I can bring it up right now. He said, I enjoyed it. Thanks so much for the kind words. Very deep, inspiring music, brother. Keep up the good work. And I was like, holy fuck, this is Adam K. This is like
that's huge.
The other guy. Other than Deadmau5, it was Adam K and Soa and Deadmau5 that got me into this music.
Yep.
So it's just like that's two huge fucking guys who were like, good job, which was amazing to me.
Yeah. You want to hear a funny, like, analogous story? So this will make you laugh. So I posted like a clip on Instagram of a song I'm working on right now. It's just like a little clip and had like the music playing behind some visuals or whatever. And Spencer Brown liked it, and I was like, oh,
yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I messaged him, I was like, hey man, I really appreciate you like taking a listen to it. And I might have asked like one question, but nothing. And here's the thing is, I know like he was just like liking everything that was tagged as Mau5trap. Like, so, so it's funny because I was like, yes, this is it. But then nothing.
That's butts.
But it happens, man.
Actually, some of these guys might just not get back to you. It took a while to kind of do a rapport with Atlas because I felt our music was similar.
Oh yeah,
finally broke through talking to him, and even Rinzen. I was like, our music's kind of similar, and it's just like, how do you talk to these people? How do you find where they are on the internet,
right,
and stuff like that? But you kind of can sometimes. It's just a lot of the times they're just like, I'm sorry, I'm just like they have 10,000 people messaging them all the time, you know?
Yeah.
So like fucking Jeff, we ran into him at the last Deadmau5 show, me and my buddy Riot, and I messaged him after, and I was like, oh, it's cool to see you again. This is the second time I've met him, and finally he was like, oh, sorry, I see you've sent me messages, and like I haven't gotten back to you, which is a funny thing. I thought when you deleted DMs on Twitter, they deleted from their DM too, like Discord, because I googled it, and I guess it was an old article that if you delete a Twitter message, so I'd fucking sent him something that I deleted because I'm like, that's stupid or whatever, and he responded to that. He's like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. He's talking about it. I'm like, to be honest, I have no idea what I sent. I cleared out my DMs a while ago. That's like fuck, like, because I feel like I've done it where I've done spelling mistakes,
Uh-huh.
and I'll just delete the whole thing and paste again. And now I'm like, I look like a fucking psychopath. Like I misspell one thing, so I retyped the whole thing again.
Uh-huh.
I had no idea, yeah. So I'm like, I look like a dink.
That's funny, man. It's part of the whole thing. Like, I think everyone does it, especially you're right on that. You're on the precipice, man. You've put in the time. Deadmau5 fucking loves your music, so it's totally different. But I'm more starting out, and I'll reach out to guys, and some people are super cool. Some people, they just happen not to respond, whether they're busy or whatnot. But I always do feel like I don't want to hit them up too hard. I don't want to just start.
Yeah, like that's the thing. You got to be cool. How do you be cool? How do you act cool when you're just like all you want to do is talk about music? It's like, hey, I also make music. It's like, fuck. I mean, how's the weather? Like, what are you doing later? Let's get ramen or something. It's just, but you just want to be like, I'm fucking, I'm making music too. This is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, one thing I do love about the Discord, because I had no idea. I mean, I've only been in the Audio Apostles Discord for like maybe 2 months, 3 months, something like that. And I was playing music my whole life, but then working on production for like a solid 6 months before I even knew of Discord. And it's so awesome, man, because everyone's so supportive, talk about music, everyone's posting whips. It's super cool.
This is the greatest community and thing I think that's happened to our little community of musicians is Discord. Before that, it was like cold emails and SoundCloud or Twitter DMs and stuff, and then all of a sudden Discord happened. It's like here's a server where everybody thinks the same thing.
Yep.
They
just want to talk music all day. Yeah.
Every fucking DJ's got one where they post all their stuff. You can interact with the similar-minded fans and share your own stuff with them, and it just like builds this community of people who support each other.
Totally.
And help each other out. I thought this was the best part about. Actually, it was the masterclass contest that got me into Discord because Fox Hunt sent me a message and he's just like, "Are you on Discord?" And I'm like, "What the fuck's Discord?" And he invited me to No Mana's server on Discord.
Yeah.
And I came into it and I'm like, "What? This existed this whole time?"
Right.
Like, nobody fucking told me, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So this is the coolest place ever. And then it was pretty quick that I kind of worked my way up and I became like a notable person in it. But off the start, I felt like an idiot because I don't know how any of it works. I felt like old and stupid. And I'm like, I don't understand this fucking thing.
Yeah,
it's like all these young people, but then it's like the best community ever,
Right.
And all these servers, like even the AAC servers.
Oh, it's awesome.
Amazing.
The best vibes. Yeah. Everyone's super cool.
They started it, what was it? Not to shed any, spill the tea. But the Masterclass server that somebody made for Masterclass was a fucking nightmare. And I guess I feel kind of shitty saying it, but I went in there and it's just like there were so many rules and everybody was like kind of standoffish and like you can't do this, you can't do that. That at one point I remember it was like Sistemas, way back when, and everybody was just like, fuck this place. Yeah. And they started the AAC kind of around the same time, and everybody went over there. Oh. And that server's dead now because they were, it was so negative for some reason for like such a, it's supposed to be a community-oriented, masterclass community server, and they're like, oh, no, you can't say this, or you can't do that. And don't post this here without like, I saw you posted a whip and you didn't, comment on the last person. It's like, fuck, like, people are busy.
Yeah, totally. And you'd see too, like, I'm sure you've experienced this, but like one or two people that just bring horrible vibes will change it so quickly. And everyone in this Discord is awesome. So it's been super cool.
Everybody but cool. Hans. Hans sucks.
He's going to listen to this.
I want him to listen, yeah. Fuck you, Hans. Hans funny. Actually came to my house once.
Oh, yeah. I heard you guys went to see... Didn't you guys go to a show in Toronto?
Yeah, we saw Atlas and Matt Lang with Riot.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say anybody's names. I'll keep with their alter egos. They're like superheroes.
I know, for real.
Yeah, so Hans came to my house and he showed up late. So I was having a house party, and me and Riot just kept unlocking and locking the door on him. And that was the first time we met him. And
Oh my
we
God.
barely got to talk, but yeah, it was pretty funny. We just kept opening and closing it on him and locking and leaving.
Yeah.
And then eventually he's like, "Hey guys," like, because we were drunk. And yeah, that was pretty funny. And yeah, we were here for maybe an hour, and then we went there, and it was super loud. And we tried to talk, but I can't hear very well anyways.
Yeah.
And let alone, like, I've got earplugs in when I'm at the nightclub because I don't want to fuck up my ears. So we were trying to talk a bit. And that's where I met Okie James from what's the Radio Humper.
Okay.
Which I have a mix coming out on.
Oh.
Hold on, I'll find the date. There's some tea.
Oh shit.
Just give me a hot second. Well, actually, he posted about it.
Dropping releases on Chasing Creativity.
Yeah, well,
breaking news.
That's going to be exciting. All right, September 15th at 11 o'clock.
Hell yeah, awesome.
I'm playing an hour of IDs.
Damn.
Everything except I think maybe two. I have 2 songs in there from people who aren't me, and I have what's on my SoundCloud. So Everything Was Beautiful, Lil King, and War Sun. Everything else is an ID.
Oh damn.
Which is gonna be sick.
Yeah.
I made a fuck ton of music this
Dude,
summer.
yeah, that's awesome. Because I wanted to ask you. I knew that you had started music quite a while ago, and you have a subset of music, of course, on SoundCloud. So do you just have like a hidden discography somewhere of just hundreds of songs?
Or at least made
whips?
Probably over 300 to 400 songs at this point.
Yeah.
I have I kept it all. I have my first song on my hard drive.
Yeah, you got to save that one. Yeah, so you can.
I'm gonna release it one day when I'm like, it's like from 2006 or 7.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it out and I'm gonna be like, this was my first song.
Yeah.
If I put it compared to the last song I did, people would be like, holy fuck.
Oh, for sure. And it's empowering too. When you start out and you hear that, you're like, okay, so I can get, because when you start out making music, it sounds like absolute dog shit. Like you can't help it. Especially if you haven't done any producing in like Ableton or FL Studios or whatever. I mean, it sounds like dog shit. Anyone. So to have people who have really started there and then progress and have something really great, and to show like, hey, everyone starts here. It's just, that's where
everybody starts there. Yeah. And it honestly takes so long to learn how to do it right and make anything interesting or even different because the market's so saturated.
Totally.
Right now.
That's a whole other thing too. It's like there are so many artists putting out music right now. Like Instagram, if you do a tag for like Mau5trap or whatever, there's just thousands of people releasing music. It's crazy for that reason. Yeah.
It's funny. I overheard a conversation at my work the other day where people were talking about how back 30 years ago, people were getting paid $150 to play a show, and that hasn't changed. Like today, it's still the same amount.
Right.
And the woman was arguing that with inflation, you should be getting paid more, which you should.
Right.
And he was saying, well, why aren't artists standing up against that and saying, no, you have to pay me more? And I, in the back of my head, chimed in. I'm like, because there's fucking 1,000 people who will do it for free.
Yep. Yeah,
so it's like if you get the opportunity to get paid for something and you're like, no, I'm holding out, I should be getting paid like $500.
Right.
You're fucking gone. You know, there's so many talented people out there and so many people who do it for free reasonably.
Totally.
That it's like, how do you change something like that?
Yep.
Without, giving up, because that's what I did. I stopped getting paid for things and I stopped playing shows.
Yeah. Well, and it makes you think when you see those festivals, right, go around and there's the same DJs that play all of them. It makes you wonder, like, what's going on with like this guy at every single event? I don't know. I don't know the answer.
They sell tickets.
Yeah.
And they know the promoters.
Yeah.
It's like that easy. Once you if you get in on a tour with somebody and you're like, oh, hey, I know Mr. So-and-so, so I'm playing with shit and it's gonna show up on my audio.
Right.
I'm clanging around over here.
That's okay.
If you meet somebody, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, I know, let's say Sis Demis, I just know him now, and he's got a thing coming out on Mau5trap. I have a show in whatever place. I'll just book him.
Right.
Because I know him and he did a good job.
Yep.
And then he does that show and he does a good job and people enjoy it. And then it just kind of, then you meet another promoter there and he's like, well, I'm going to get you to play a show there. And it just kind of snowballs.
Yep.
And if they know Dylan Francis puts on a sick show and everybody knows him and he always sells tickets and he always makes money. It's like, of course I'm going to book Dylan Francis.
Right. Hundreds of thousands of tickets. I mean, those shows, you look at his Instagram, it's insane.
Yeah, versus Joe Schmo fucking Ashe, who's got like 3 songs on fucking SoundCloud.
Hey, man, I don't know.
I wouldn't
you're right
fucking
on the border,
book me.
Dude, I'd book you too. 100% easy. Easy.
But like, you know, what do I command? I command nothing.
Right. And I'm guessing that's how it works for everyone starting out. Like Black Gummy, I feel like just started touring recently. Maybe I'm kind of I live under a rock, just so that's clear.
He did but the Mesophase tour, didn't he?
Right, but before, like, that was the first time I saw him really touring. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but he's
that was this year. Never mind.
Yeah. So, and now he's really, from what I see, gaining a lot of traction there. So it's got to be like that, you know. A couple songs click, and then
if you can link it all up like that, like as a Canadian, it's a bitch to play shows down in America. It's a nightmare just getting across the border, let alone getting the permits for it. You have to have all the clubs and venues sign off on where you're going. So it's like you can get a string going. Well, as an American, it's easier because you're already fucking in America. I could play a show in Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver.
Right.
Like maybe Calgary. That's it, you know. And like these guys, it's like, oh, I'm at New York and then I'm in Portland and then I'm going down to Florida and Miami Music Week. Fuck, and it's like they can just do that because they're there. They don't need to get a stupid permit that's worth like $2,000 or something. Yeah, it's ridiculous how much it costs. And if you want to expedite it, it's like double. And it's in US. You have to spend US. So I'm like, as like a nobody, how the fuck am I supposed to afford that? I'm gonna lose money going on if I played any shows because I got offered to come down to the States to do a show, and it's like, no, you can't. Yeah,
and it's hard because you want to balance it with like, hey, I can expose myself here, I can get experience, etc. That's a tough balance.
Yeah, what's worth the risk, like losing all of your money to play, you know, a show for 20 people to 100 people down in the States, which would be easier for me to play down in the States right now. I know more people down in the States, right? But, versus playing up here where you get to keep that $20, $50 and you don't have to get a goddamn permit. It's just like, but America is so important for music as a musician. You have to have America or you have nothing. You know, there's only so many things you can play in Canada a year.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, I do think that how you've handled it so far, though, is like, it could not be better, though. And I guess what I'm trying to say is like submitting that music to Deadmau5 and getting it in and it being the last submission and then it clicks and he loves it. I mean, everything was just it was a prophecy. Everything I predicted everything.
Yeah, really. Yeah, you were like, I mean, the masterclass thing I totally called. Yeah. Like dates, picking out dates. Like, because I don't wholeheartedly believe in the whole positive manifestation thing, but I believe if you put your mind towards something and really like you picture it happening, you do all the things that lead up to that. Like you just do it. So like you put in the work, and that's where the manifestation of it comes. From putting in all the work in the world, and then it's like, oh well, it happened in that time. It's like, because I spent 1,000 hours this month just sitting in front of my computer writing goofy melodies and stuff and try to convey emotion through a computer. You know?
No, that's it. It's funny because there's that whole thing where it's like what's it called? The Note or something. What the hell is that movie called? But you can pretty much think of something and then it's going to come to you, right? That idea. The Secret. The Secret. Yeah, sorry. I don't know what I'm talking. Yeah, but you can sit on your ass and then you're going to have a Lamborghini. It's not going to happen. But at the same point, you can't be pessimistic to say, well, okay, then it's never going to happen. I'm just not even going to try it. You have to have something where you can visualize, hey, this is where I got to get, but put the massive amount of hard work into it and visualize that whole path. And then things happen.
It's Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours. Yeah. He said a number that's so astronomical that it's not an exact amount that you become a master, but it's kind of like a hilarious way to say you have to work all the time. Yep. You know, like it's like 10,000 hours. How am I supposed to do that? Well, that's what it takes to be a master, is just continuously putting your nose to the grind forever and ever. And I'm a big prime advocator of you have to give up everything to be successful.
Yeah.
Like you have, like, especially in our industries where it's so oversaturated, it's like you don't have to give everything up to be a plumber.
Yeah.
You can go to school and you can be a plumber. There's a market for it. But when the market is so oversaturated, you really have to fucking give up everything and do twice as much work as everybody else. Or you won't make it. You won't succeed. You might have some, you know, like a couple good songs come out and people think you're cool, but you don't make it unless you really, like, you know, drop the hanging out with people all the time, the partying, the after school special shit, and you just come home and work.
That's it.
And you wake up, you go to work, or if you don't have to go to work, which would be fucking amazing, you just work on music every day, and then eventually you'll have something to offer the world.
Totally.
That might get you to that next level where you can just live off of it, which is the goal, I think, from everybody. Well, some people want to be famous. I just want to be able to eat and live in a house.
Eat, live in a house, and make music and not work. Like, if that was your job, that'd be the fucking best. I would love that.
That's all I want.
Yeah. And I mean, it must be really, really incredible to be at a stage too where you can put out music and people really have real reactions to it. And I was thinking about this the other day. It's one thing if you, and this is just for myself personally, like if I reach out to someone, I'm like, hey, can you listen to my song? And if they're kind of well established, they're like, oh yeah, I really like it. Like, that's fucking cool. But the idea where like Adam came across your song and you didn't reach out to him at all, and he found it and he listened to it and he actually liked it. That
was so weird, man, because I sent him a message after. I'm like, how the fuck do you listen to my music? Yeah. Like, how'd you find me? And he's just like, I was just listening to music. I'm like, well, do you like it? And he's like, yeah, it's really emotive stuff. Because he listened to, like, it wasn't that just one song was like Adam K. He listened to all the songs on my SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, he went through my whole fucking discography.
Yeah.
And that's, I was supposed to go to his studio, but I think he's somewhere else right now because we've been talking on Instagram. He invited me to his studio, which was also fucking sick.
Damn.
But mind you, that's kind of, I'm still riding line on that one. Like, you want to be cool, you don't want to just keep messaging, because I think he went up north for a little bit there when I was like trying to set it up. But you want to be cool. I'm gonna hit him up, you know, in a couple weeks and be like, hey, let's go hang out at your studio sometime.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking cool. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Oh my god, that's awesome. So one thing, I think this might be a good way to kind of lead into it, talking about your music. But, you know, when I listen, everything you have posted on SoundCloud and what I've found here and there, you have, of course, a very distinct style. And earlier you were saying it was kind of very similar to Atlas, which I agree with. You have this mastery of percussion and Foley that is like, it's on par 100% at the same level as Atlas. I mean, you fucking nail it. So I wanted to get into that, is like where you kind of carved out your path in the music that you write and where you found your sound, and maybe where you started feeling comfortable with that percussive side, because it almost seems to me that you might have had a background in drums almost, because the percussion and the Foley is like so on point. It's crazy.
I don't have a background in drums. I have a background in living in the fucking country. That's where the Foley comes from. Yeah, like I forget where. Hold on, I'm gonna wheel back here, see if I can find it in a book. What was it? The end of 2016 that I started writing everything down for branding and everything. I'm like trying to find my fucking sound for once. This is great. I'm glad I have all these resources just right at my fingertips.
We can pull out the books.
Yeah, so it's like Ashe, January 24th. This must have been the beginning of 2016 or 17. I can't remember which one I did the branding on, because every year I do one thing. So the themes are cinema, strings, big drums, sections of silence, in brackets, almost. Strong pads, Foley, story, and emotion. And then the visuals, which I haven't done yet, are like aerial landscapes, nature, rolling thunderstorms combined with the surreal, which is really fucking funny because this was 2016, because there's some songs on here that I'd never released, and I know when I made them, but the themes are exactly, I think, what I'm making right now. And I just wrote it down. I'm like, I want heavily cinematic inspired music, because I think that's cool, and it would be really awesome to listen to in a nightlife environment or at a big festival, like cinema kind of music, big like War Sun, big pads and shit like that. What do we got here? I want to fuse film, score visual epic with my music. I want people at my shows to be both visually and sonically overwhelmed. Oh, this is good stuff.
Yeah,
I just wrote all this shit down, and my branding and my bio and all that stuff, because I've been through every genre of music. I started making trance because that was the popular thing. I did hardcore techno for a while, like hardcore Ukrainian techno. Like almost, that like dong dong shit. And I was signed on to a pretty big Ukrainian techno label, hardcore techno label called Oxytech, which is one of the biggest hard techno labels in the world. I did weird glitchy stuff. I tried to do tech house for a while. I tried to make normal techno for a while. And then I started making this kind of, I really like watching movies and I love scores, and I started making this like, all this cinema stuff, and I was like, how can I make that also electronic? And I think nailed it?
You nailed it. Yeah, totally. I think everything that I've listened to so far is absolutely awesome. But so where did the kind of maybe like the Foley come in? So here's my question is, was there a lot of kind of trial and error when you started working on that? Because I guess for myself, I've tried to bring some of that into my songs, and you might listen to it in a song or kind of someone who doesn't listen to a lot of music, let's say, they listen to it and they're like, okay, yeah, I get it, whatever. But when you sit down and try and put a song together that's at that same level where you're bringing in all the percussion and the Foley at a really high level, it's super, super hard. I mean, to make it sound really good. So what was that progression, like for you? I mean, did it seem to fit kind of well with just how you work musically, or was there like a lot of progressing to get to a level where you feel happy with kind of...
It took a little bit of time. It started, I think what happened was one time I accidentally shifted a bunch of percussion over in a song I was doing, and I was like, some of it sounded really cool. So I really started to focus on different elements like that, like percussion, because I think percussion is so important in this music.
Oh, yeah.
The Foley shit, I don't know why I started doing that. I can't really remember. I think I might have dropped... just off Splice, like Rain into a song and a breakdown, and I was like, wow, this fills it up so beautifully. And I started putting like, just like wood effects and stuff, and I was like, I just record this. Like, so I went home to work, and I bought the thing I'm recording on right now, the Zoom H4n. That's the right, it's the H4n. That audio is going to sound really weird because I stood up and talked on top of it. I got that, and I went home, and I lit fires, and I cracked branches.
Cool.
And I threw shit into the woods. I recorded some coyotes, which you'll hear in some music that might come out eventually.
Okay. I like the sound of that.
If you tune into Bump in the Hump, Radio Humber, September 15th with Ogie James at 11 o'clock, you're going to hear all that. Hey, plug.
Plug. I'll plug it too. I'll promote the hell out of it.
Hashtag bumping the hump. Hashtag my mixtape. That's great. I have like coyotes that I recorded back home.
Cool.
And just adding that, and I'm kind of pushing it a little now with the rain. Every fucking song has rain now, so I'm trying to get away from that a little bit. It just sounds so cool to have a little piano section here, rain, and then like you can add in little shakers and stuff, and adding the verb to it, and you kind of make it this like big swelling piece.
It becomes really intricate. There's all these different moving parts, and you panned it perfectly, so some things are on the left ear, some on the right, and it's just like when you can piece all those things together and it comes together and it's just perfect. I mean, that to me, that's what I love. Like you, Atlas. I really like Oliver Winters as well. He makes some amazing music.
He influenced me on a lot of different techniques. So when he started putting out stuff like Into the Flood, and,
yeah,
it's just way too good,
dude.
Way too talented.
Yeah, so I'm kind of trying to incorporate some of those pieces in a song I'm working on right now. So I'll pause and I try and listen just like as a kind of a reference track, like what are all the different components going on here? And sometimes I'm like, I don't know how you did that. I have no idea. Like I just I find with myself at least. So I played piano when I was young, so that comes much more easily. So I can pick out a melody and be like, all right, I go play it on the keyboard, on the MIDI keyboard. I can kind of figure that out. But percussion, I'm dog shit garbage at. It's like, it's just not there right now.
I had a bunch of instruments as a kid, but I never learned how to really play any of them. I think it's funny because the digital audio workstation was my instrument as a kid. That's like, and I wasn't young, but I grew up in the country, so whatever. I didn't develop, I guess, as quickly as most people would that grew up in the city where you're riding the bus downtown at fucking age 10. Like I was like 15 or something, and I had a digital audio workstation. I was like, learning how to do this because there's nothing to do. I got off topic. What were you talking about?
Oh no, we're like, so you were saying not a lot of instruments growing up. So you just really learned, So you learned through just kind of messing around on a DAW.
I did that, and the piano's all fake piano. Like fake not in the sense that it's like a fake piano. Well, it is a fake piano. It's Contact's The Giant, but the melodies and stuff, because you can program things to sound real if you really try. So a lot of the piano, the notes playing, the velocity is up and down, so that they're hitting at different pressure points. They're not quantized, so they're off a little bit. A lot of the time, I drag them over individually, so it sounds like a human being is playing it. The chords are always on MIDI. On the actual like notes. They hit every beat because I think that rolls along the song, but every little thing is kind of off everywhere else. But I don't know how to play any instruments or piano. I do know how to put things together, I guess. Like I was born 500 years ago, I would have been like a composer. I wouldn't have played the violin. I would have been, deaf or blind or whatever they were back in the day. One of them. Yeah.
Totally.
And I would have just written music because I can kind of see it in my head. And a lot of the production is I'll play a loop, and it's just all of a sudden there's something that sticks out in my head that would be cool playing along with that, like a hit here, something here, or hearing a tree fucking rip in half here would sound really cool, and then you just kind of build on that, and then all of a sudden, it's missing something. What is it missing? It's missing this, because you can hear it in your head, and that's how I kind of make music. Is it just keep on layering and humming things out, and then it just you just build a song like that. Right.
Well, there were composers that I couldn't name now, but that they would write pieces from their mind. Like they wouldn't have an orchestra, they would write it on paper and they'd understand what's I mean, that to me that's black magic. For like that's black.
It's beyond me. I guess if that's your whole life, if you just do one thing all the time, you're the best at it now. Good job, you did it.
you did it. Yeah. It's funny though, because like when I did play piano growing up, I'll sit at my MIDI keyboard now, and I still won't. Like, the best things that I'm happy with that I've written, piano-wise, I've done it in MIDI. So I'll play a couple ideas. I'm like, oh, that's a good starting chord. And then I'll play it a bunch of times and then copy it and, like, change the chord, and then something sticks. Well, then suddenly I have kind of something,
The beauty of MIDI is you can play melodies that human beings cannot.
Right.
Either speed or the distance between fingers. I can have, fucking 20 notes playing at the same time on a piano, and it sounds ridiculous and amazing that a human hands just couldn't do. Like they're too far apart or something like that,
right,
or it'd be really hard to play. So I think that's where it gets that next level of like, you can play piano and you can know piano well enough, but in MIDI it's the whole canvas is open.
Totally.
And you can do whatever you want. It can be super intricate. It can play at 600 BPM a minute and be ridiculous. Like, you can do things that humans can't do, and that's what's really cool about electronic music.
Yeah.
Is you break the system of music, and you just can have any sound or do anything. Like, if I want to have a tree falling down or it raining during the song, stuff like that you just can't plan. Well, I mean, you could plan it. You could fucking go out on stage, pull a tree down in the middle of a rainstorm, but it just wouldn't be the same. It would be awesome, but it wouldn't be the same effect.
Right. And I've always thought it's really cool too, because, when I was in high school, this was quite a while ago, I played in a band, right? But I just played guitar, and then there was someone playing drums and bass and other guitar, right? When you write electronic music, you have to do everything. So
you're the guy.
Yeah, you're it. You make everything, and so it's not that you get that one little piece and you're like, all right, I think my guitar riff's really cool. You do everything from start to finish, and man, it's really cool. It's super fun. It's super addicting too. I just sit on my computer now like all the time, and
yeah, that's all I do is make music. It's my way to wind down. It's how I feel good.
Yep.
It's like my little addiction is just working on music all the time, just like all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Same. I have a great work ethic. The guy who's better at me than that is Deadmau5.
Really?
He will do a song start to finish, and then immediately he starts working on another song.
Oh God!
It's like he doesn't take a break. He'll just go on to the next one, go on to the next one. Like, I've collaborated with him twice now.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. And I'll just like send him something, and he sends it back to me in 3 hours, and he's like, "It's done."
No
like,
way!
Fuck, man.
Jeez.
He just rocks through it. He's super fucking talented.
I heard the same. There's an interview with Steve Duda where when him and Deadmau5 were working on music back in the day with Better Sounding on Drugs, that he was the same way. They'd finish a song.
Is it Better Sounding on Drugs?
Yeah.
I thought it was Blue Screen of Death.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was Better Sounding on Drugs.
I'm so confused.
I'm very confused as well. I always heard that. I thought I looked it up too, like Better Sounding on Drugs, and then it was like it would show like Steve Duda and Deadmau5. I almost swear.
What the
Unless I heard some like internet hearsay that was wrong,
Maybe. Oh man, that's throwing me for a loop. Hold on. I want to.
It could have been like ravers that took it over too, just like kids that were doing a lot of drugs. And we're like, we're calling this Better Sounding on Drugs.
Oh no, yeah, that's okay. You're right. It says so. It's written under the name BSOD, which traditionally stands for Blue Screen of Death.
Yeah.
But the duo claims the acronym stands for Better Sounds on Drugs.
That's funny. It's
Better Sounding on Drugs.
For
fuck you. Yeah, fuck you, man.
There we go. See, a little trivia too.
I learned something. Holy
trivia.
Shit.
We got plugs.
yeah.
No, but
I was gonna try to plug it again.
Easy. Hey, we'll plug it. I'm down, and I'm gonna before the podcast, after the podcast, I'm just gonna trust me. I'm a plug machine.
Oh, you're gonna hear. Hold on. You're going to hear one of Soul Vale's new songs.
Oh.
Well, mind you, he already put it out on his Phase 1 EP. I'm playing one of his songs, and you get to hear a song from Riot as well, but I'm not going to tell you which one that is.
Hey.
Those are the two guys I picked because they're Canadian. It's a Canadian thing.
Hell yeah. Oh, Riot. Oh, yeah, because you guys all met up in Canada, so Riot's Canadian as well. You guys have good musicians out there. What are you talking about?
Toronto's the best.
Yeah. Deadmau5 was he Toronto or was he outside Toronto? I thought he was
Niagara Falls.
That's
why Rez is also from Niagara Falls.
Yeah. That
was one of the things that tied them together was he knew she was Atlas brought the attention to her for like 2 Mau5trap, and then she was from Niagara Falls too, and Deadmau5 was like, that's cool, let's sign her because like two people from Niagara Falls.
Right. Damn,
yeah, everybody's from here. Like Rhett lives here. Yep. Atlas lives here.
Dude, you're in the spot. What are you talking about?
There's a few other Mau5trap. Oh yeah, Toronto's sick.
Yeah, there's no one in Arizona.
I couldn't name you one.
You got me. That's it.
Yeah.
No,
you.
Just me. I'm right next to Arizona's right next to California, of course. So I'm 6 hours maybe from LA, where like everyone lives, but I never go there. Julian's there.
You should.
Yeah. I mean.
Julian Gray.
Good old Julian. Yeah, he's there. Yeah. He just played Arizona, which was super cool. And he's coming back to Arizona October 13th. So I'm Really stoked for that. With Systemis. Yeah. Yep. It's going to be him. Oh yeah, it's going to be crazy. I'm excited. I'm stoked.
I've never met any of these people.
Yeah, I know. That's one thing too, is like I spoke with Julian a lot over Discord, and then we met finally, and it was like weird for like 10 seconds, and it was normal, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. They have it actually.
I didn't find hanging out with Riot weird at all. He seems so normal.
Yeah.
And like cool that I was like, oh hey man. He was like, hey. I was like, you belong here.
Yeah, and when you like talk with people online so long, you know them, you know.
I barely talked to Riot before he moved here.
Oh,
oddly
really?
enough. Yeah, we like chatted a few times, and then he came here, and he's just like, I'm in Toronto. Let's hang out. We're going to this show, and I'm like, come to my housewarming party.
Yeah.
And then the next day, he's like, come to my housewarming party. and the rest is history.
The rest is history. That's funny. Yeah, shit, man, dude, it's crazy that like this thing just worked out so cool too, because you know we don't chat that often, but back and forth here in the Discord every once in a while, and then we got to set this up, and I'm just getting the sense like you're right on that border, man. That's got to feel so cool. Fuck.
It feels cool, but then at the same time you're like annoyed because I've been doing this for over 10 years now, and if things will get pushed back or like you're not doing it yet, like you'll get some recognition like that, and then all of a sudden you go back to normal life.
Right.
I still work in a coffee shop right now. I still fucking super in debt, and you'll have these big high moments, and then just something will happen where it's like you're so far away still, even though like I feel like I'm on the cusp. Maybe next year I could be doing something, like just little things like will get pushed back, and then you're just gutted. Like, fuck, like, now my life has to wait another 2 or 3 months, and it keeps, and you're like, oh, God, like, because, like, when certain things get to come out, not saying what they are, you get more notoriety, and you get,
more
the ability to talk to, more notoriety. You can fucking, can talk to promoters and club people and bigger artists and stuff, and really start, like if I went to a club right now and said, hey, I'm just Ashe, who the fuck's gonna book me? But if you go with like something like a name tag on that says you're like part of a group or something, it changes that just helps you. You're just like, I'm a guy that something of. Like I have clout.
Totally.
So I've been waiting for things to happen.
And I think that I have the sense that once something like that catches, it's a snowball effect too. So like it's going to be annoying right now. You're like waiting. But then once that ball starts rolling, I feel like it's going to go faster, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Hopefully, man.
Yeah.
It's a snowball if you're prepared.
Right.
If you have, like, look at Io.
Yeah.
He had
an
EP come out every fucking month.
Yeah.
And it's just like you have to have a marketing thing. You have to have music constantly coming out. So if this all rolls out, I've got, 8 unreleased songs right now.
Yeah.
That's good for next year. That's like I could put stuff out for the whole year, and it would be consistent enough that I'm fine. So it's like now I'm a whole year ahead.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm in the perfect scenario for something big to fucking happen.
Right. It must feel good to have music you're sitting on too, because then you just know you're not as stressed, right? Because you're like, okay, I have this, and this I can sit on. I can release it when I need to. It's not like I remember I heard a story about Eddie where when he got signed to Mau5trap, the A&R guy was like, hey, can you put out an EP? And he did it in a fucking week. Like, dude, right now, when I work on music, and maybe he was sitting on some stuff too, but when I work on a song, and I'm new, I'm not at that level, so I'm like, let me preface with that. But it takes me a fucking month to put out a song. Like, and and I know everyone's different. Like, I've heard different stories where people will knock them out super fast. What's your experience there? I mean, you've been doing this for a long time. Does it get better? I guess is the question.
It definitely speeds up because you eventually just know what to do.
Yeah.
Like you have a sound in your head, you can just put it on paper.
Yeah.
It comes down to a lot of too, like, I don't know what Eddie's situation is, but maybe he didn't have a job or something.
Right.
Where if like I took the summer off this year just to work on music, and I made my whole unreleased discography, which is about 8 songs or something.
Yeah.
Most of which was in the course of the first month, which is, just like even the ideas that panned out into full products. But it's just a time thing. Just putting in the time, and eventually you're fast.
Yeah.
Like I am. I think I'm pretty quick anyways right now. Actually, I've made 3 songs in the last 4 days.
Oh, dude.
Which was crazy. I did a drum and bass one, which is ridiculous. I've never done drum and bass before, but people seem to, I don't know, it's like the best production I've done. Like it's like very clean and well done.
Yeah.
I did a collaboration, and I say I finished 3 songs. I have a third one that's in my head is finished. Like, when it's done.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I heard that from Deadmau5. That might have been from the masterclass. He's like, it could be a 30-second loop, but when it's done, it's done.
Like, you have all the pieces.
Yeah, you have all the pieces, and all you have to do is add a little, sugar coating, and then it's done. So I would say that's done. But I've got a lot of stuff that I'm just fucking sitting on right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And the last thing that came out was 4 months ago.
Right. So
like, oof, it's a long time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm always impressed when I hear people talk about that, and they're like, yeah, like a day or 2 days for a song. Like, dude, man, I like it.
The first day I was off. Yeah. For the summer, I wrote a song in the first day, and I was like, well, this is going good so far. It's like the best one I did. Like I've fucking, arguably up until this point that I've done.
Yeah.
And I did it on the first day, and
right.
I sent it to someone. I was like, I just did this in one day, and I was like, I have 60 more days off.
Right.
Like, what am I supposed to do with all this time now?
Have you found, like, when you dedicate certain time to a project, is that usually like is that productive for you, or do you just need things to kind of happen? Because I found with myself, if I say, okay, I have this side off, whatever, I have it wide open, I'm going to work on a song. If I'm trying to force it, nothing happens. It's like hot garbage. But then if I'm just doing my thing, kind of playing around, working on a couple other things, maybe in the middle of a song, something will click. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I was looking for, and then I can run with it.
True. You can kind of push through those scenarios, though. I know a lot of people. Shay.
Oh yeah.
He's a guy who says if you have writer's block, just keep working on music.
Yeah.
And I was like, you get burnt out or whatever. He's like, no, just keep working on music. I'm like, Shay, I can't do that. I can't just stay up all night. He's like, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And the guy's got some of the best unreleased stuff just waiting to come out. He's fucking incredibly talented. So for him to say something like that, like, I consider I have a very good work ethic. I work my nuts off.
Yeah.
But people like that and Systemis, who you see their careers rising very quickly, it's because they're like that. And I try to strive to be more like that. Yeah, because, like, fuck, if you sit there, I'll have like 2 days off.
Yeah.
And I just got to sit there from morning until nightfall working on music. Even if nothing's happening, if I don't make a song, I still put in 10 hours.
Yeah.
To learn something, learning how to not make it sound like shit.
Totally. Yeah.
Or like hot garbage. Like, even if you make picture it this way: if you make a shitty song, that's one less shitty song that you're gonna make in your life.
It's out of the way. Yeah, you get it out of the way.
It's gone now. You're never gonna make that piece of shit again. Now you have a better chance of making a good song.
That's funny. I like the way you look at that. Yeah. That's funny. What would you say? So, like, you talk with a lot of these guys, Systemis, Che. You're kind of you're like in the inner circle. You talk with a lot of these guys. What level of time would you say is kind of average for putting in time? The reason I ask is, like, I'm working a full-time job. I have a girlfriend, and I try and make sure I'm putting in at least 2 to 3 hours a day, usually when she's gone to sleep or before she gets home from work. But it's tight, man.
It's hard. It's hard balance. That's where you got to lose everything to follow your dreams comes from. Is you'll see a lot of artists who say that, who are just like, I just stopped seeing friends.
Yeah.
Because I work 40 hours a week now, and I was for a while at a warehouse, and I hated it because I was getting time in on music. Like, I'd come home and I'd sit for 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
and then I'd go back to work, and I'd come back 3-4 hours, and then it was just like Sunday, because Saturday I had to like do my laundry, prep all my food for the week, all the chores and stuff. So Sunday was my one day.
Yeah.
And it drove me mad. It made me insane. I couldn't get anything done. And then I just worked up enough money so I could take off like 2 months.
Yeah.
And I made so much content.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I usually try to stick with really shitty jobs.
Uh-huh.
Because I think it pushes me harder and harder, because I look at my, like I make a shit wage. It's a shit job. I don't get comfortable for that reason.
Right.
It pushes me to just come home and put in even more work. Even if I feel like shit, I'm tired. I just want to go to bed or play a video game. I'm like, no, I'm going to go work.
Yep.
It's like going to the gym.
Yeah.
You're not going to get in shape if you like, you're not going to have that perfect body if you just...
Oh yeah,
up.
no, it's just time.
Don't like, you gotta fucking go to the gym every other fucking day.
Yep.
Lift heavier and heavier weights, and then you have a good body.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why that's my main my main talking point is you gotta fucking work out all the time.
Yeah,
you gotta be huge. Then you'll be a good music producer. Look at fucking Ocula. He's fucking muscular as shit. He goes to the gym all the time. He's great.
Yeah, he should not go to the gym, but just work on music, right? No, just kidding.
No, gym all the time. That's where the good music comes from.
Yeah, that's it. That's the key. So that's what we learned today is you have to go to the gym. Fuck. That's what I haven't been doing. I started riding my bike to work, so there's that. I'm exercising now.
That's a start.
Yeah. That's a start.
Yeah.
Oh,
fuck. I walk to work every day. But that's also, that's a good time to roll over music.
Totally.
On your way to work.
Yeah.
And you do need to leave a lot of the time to clear your head. Say, like, my thing is to restart the creative processes. If I'm making shitty music, I'll just get up and just go for a walk.
Yeah.
Like, go get a coffee, maybe read a book for a little bit, and come back, and I just open up a brand new project.
Totally. Yeah, I actually had an episode with a guest here as two back, and he did research in brain chemistry and brain waves based on different states, and what he focused on was a little bit different than what I want to talk on here, but he mentioned that you can get into, like, you can change the frequency at which your brain is working. So there's like different states, like alpha, beta, theta. And alpha is very good for like wandering thoughts. And a lot of times if you're going to be in a creative state, you want to be in like an alpha state because you can kind of synthesize different memories and different ideas in your brain and come up with something new. When you walk, it actually induces that. Yeah. So there's science behind it that actually helps. Yeah.
I have a theory. I don't know if it's inappropriate or not.
No, go for it.
Oh, there's a cat scratching at my door right now. I was like, what the fuck is that? I 100% wholeheartedly think that you make better art the day after having sex. Like, honest to God.
Interesting.
It always... Because you're just so relaxed and endorphins and all that stuff. You wake up and you're like, you just feel good.
Yeah.
You're like, I had sex last night. And then you make great art.
Yeah.
And that's a John Ashe theory. Well, that's probably scientifically proven. That's a John Ashe theory right there.
Yeah, I bet. Okay, so to counter that point, I bet some of those guys, like those famous painters that like never had, I can't pull names right now, but just like never had sex or like celibate, they'd also make crazy stuff, but it would be based on just pent up energy,
based on frustration. You got to pick your mood. It's like if you're in a good mood, that's good for electronic music a lot of the time.
Right.
My music's kind of it's happy enough, it's broody, whatever. That's the mood I'm in. But like if you're in a fucking grunge band, don't have sex. Be angry or punk or something. Like, you gotta build your life around the mood that you're trying to convey.
Totally. And you look at Deadmau5 and he's like always like kind of being a dick, but like in a good way, like in a funny way. Yeah, edgy. Yeah. But can you imagine if you just got like super like happy and was just like smiling and fist pumping on stage? Like the music would go. The music would go to shit. That's who he is. Yeah. So it's funny, man. It's funny. Yeah.
He was pretty stoked at the show that we went to this past week. He played for 5 hours. 5.5 hours.
Oh my God.
It was like, I've seen him 4 times now. It was single-handedly the best performance I've ever seen him do in my life.
Wow.
It was fucking amazing. He played every song he's ever written.
5 hours? Was it his own show then? So it was no one else?
Yeah, it was. Oh. It was Black. It was what's his face? Monster Get Down. And then Deadmau5 went on at 12:30, and he's just like, "Fuck it, paid the fines. We're here till 6 in the morning."
That's we stayed so till epic.
The end. It was. This audio is gonna sound weird too, because I'm just making sure my thing is still. Oh fuck, my battery's kind of low.
Oh shit. Dude, it's funny when you're talking about Systemis working so hard. I got a Twitch notification that he was streaming. It's like, that's
oh yeah, that shit had streams now. Dude, I was like one of the first people watched. I donated him. I think it was $2.50. And I said, go get a coffee, and he's like, I don't drink coffee. And I said, send it back.
Oh shit.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Don't drink coffee.
Dude, I fucking live on coffee. I would die if I didn't have coffee.
That's the best part about working in a coffee shop.
Oh, that must be very nice. Yeah.
Coffee all the time.
I listened to, I was on Limitless Vibrations, where you were saying a lot of the music you work on will be at the coffee shop when you're working on music.
Used to be.
Okay.
Now I have an actual studio.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah.
Actual in the sense of before the room I was in was an internet dead zone. Which was ridiculous. And sonically it was shit. I had broken Rocket speakers. So I would and like, you know, there's people around, so I would just walk away and I'd go to a coffee shop, and I'd work in this one coffee shop, the Brockton Haunt. And they never bothered me. Even if people came in, they never told me to leave. I always bought a lot of coffee and goodies and stuff. It was great. And now I'm in a room that's on the left side of the house. So to the left of me, there's nothing, and then there's another house, and then to the right of me is like a closet space, and then the other side of the house is just behind cement. So I can play music as loud as I fucking want.
Nice.
Which is so good. So I got Yamaha HS7s, which are phenomenal speakers. Everybody swears by them.
Yeah.
I put monitor isolation pads underneath so the table doesn't rattle anymore, and I have acoustic panels behind, and it's so flat sounding, and I think that's why the newest music I'd be making and listening to my old music sounds so much like shit now. Because I have a flat audio space to listen to music.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because I can hear now the sub frequencies and if things are distorted and stuff, because even before this little setup, all the stuff was in the windowsill, which is you know, you shouldn't do that ever.
Dude, my setup is horrible. I have these little 1-inch or 2-inch speakers that I bought when I first started this, and I just haven't put the money into monitors right now. So I master in Bose headphones. It's bad, man. Like, so I know my mastering is trash right now. Like, I know my edits are garbage. I'll send them to Julian too, and he'll be like, let me tear apart a lot of this.
I have when I did Little King, it was on HDJ 2000 Mark IIs, which are a pretty fancy DJ headphone, but not the greatest for actually making music. I just learned them well enough, I guess, because I think you can definitely do stuff on headphones. The problem is, though, is you can't get that low end without destroying your eardrums. So
totally, yeah.
Little King sounds great and clean because there's no sub, there's no bass line going on in it. It's just kicks. Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, it's so clean, and everybody liked it so much. And I'm like, there's no sub in it. It's just a kick.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's why it sounds so fucking clean. It's like, it's a sham. It's a fucking lie.
Dude, well, there's definitely more to it than that. I mean, like, I know you're joking, but like all the percussion, it's just like, man, everything comes together like perfectly in that song. That
was a pretty quick turnaround too for a song. That might have been 2 or 3 days.
Damn.
Sometimes it just works.
Yeah.
You know? And sometimes like everything was beautiful took a month, and I think like it's like, oh god, it's not great. And then Little King, I think, is still one of the best tracks I've done. It took like 3 days.
They're both, those are my 2 favorite. I love both of those.
Oh, you're gonna have more favorites soon.
I'm stoked, man. There's so much good music coming out right now too, which is awesome, because there's so many good artists right now. Everyone's releasing music. It's super, super cool.
It's a good time to be making music and listening to music.
Totally, yeah. And then with the Discord, then you're like talking with these people, getting to know people. I mean, it's the coolest community. I'm loving it. And for me, it's more like I don't have the like here. This is like my perfect scenario. Do you know the band? Shit, how do I forget this now? Sound of Animals Fighting. Have you heard of them before?
No.
It's like, so it's very like post-hardcore. There's Anthony Green was in Seosin. So Seosin was like this huge post-hardcore band. And they did this side project where it was Anthony Green and some guys from this other band called RX Bandits. And it was this collaboration with like 7 or 8 dudes. And they all wore masks, so you didn't know who they were. But the guy who put it together was a school teacher. So he had a regular job. He just did his
like
thing.
Alice Cooper.
Oh, I didn't know Alice Cooper had a regular job. I had no idea.
Alice Cooper was a history teacher.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like, just to be so low key and have a job, but then on the side you're just making like hot fire. That's for me, that's what I'd love to do. That would be super cool. But it's tough because it's limiting on time, right? If I'm going to do all these other things like work and have a serious girlfriend and all that, like have a dog and all these things, I want to see friends at time. Like, dude,
yeah, dog. That's a time eater.
Dude, yeah, and I got him right.
I would love to have a dog, dude.
Yeah.
But I know that it's just gonna take so much time that I'll lose. Like, I have to be working on music or doing stuff like this. You know.
Yeah, I know.
If I had a dog, I'd be like, I have to take my dog to take a shit right now.
Right? Yeah. He luckily he's very chill now, but I couldn't agree more. Like, my girlfriend and I talk about it. We should be walking him more, or I should be walking him more, and more. But there's a lot of times where if he's just laying on the ground, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna work on music, and But so that's why a cat would be fucking perfect. Yep. That's why I mentioned when we first started talking. I was like, oh, those are perfect for producing because you don't have to put any time in. They do their own thing.
Yeah, they know where to poop. They eat whatever they want, and they don't, eat too... Well, these cats eat too much, which sucks. But, they have water. They, climb whatever they want, and you never have to deal with them. And in fact, they don't even want you to fucking touch them.
No. Yeah.
They're like, leave me alone. And I'm like, fine. I guess you live here, too.
Yeah. Dude, in retrospect, it was funny because I just got the dog when I was, well, maybe a little bit before I started getting back into music like this. But yeah, I mean, now I'm like, oh, wow. I love him. I love the dog to death. But, if he was a cat, it probably would be easier to work on music.
Yeah. There was a big pause there, and I thought it cut out, and then you're like,
no. No, man, I love the dog. But you see it. But, I mean, I see people producing with dogs. It's funny, man. You just don't fucking know.
You gotta make the time.
You gotta make the time.
If you can have these things, I wish I could have these things, but I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't balance it. I know I wouldn't be able to because I'm too into this.
Right.
Like if I got a girlfriend right now, I know I wouldn't be a good boyfriend.
Oh yeah.
Or if I had a dog, I'd be like too into the dog or something.
Yeah. Oh, I get, and you kind of figure out what fits too. Like, you understand yourself, so it's good to understand yourself well and be like, hey, this is what I can do, this is what I can't do. Because
exactly,
people push it, and then suddenly, you're not even, you totally diverge from what you were trying to do in the first place just because you pick up.
Like I don't want to fucking fall in love right now. That'll ruin everything.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I would be so mad if you were like, dude, I in like 2 weeks you're like, I had a girlfriend.
Like, I fell in love with this girl, and I don't want to do music anymore because this is my life now. Yeah. And then I'm trying to avoid that. I don't think I have the personality. And I know it's so ridiculous of a concept. It's such a crazy thing to be like, I can't go and see people because I'm so focused on my music. But that's just my personality and the way I am. I figure many other people can do it. They can make it work. That's just not my personality, and I think that if I did that, I think anything that's taken away from my time working on music is like a negative in my life, essentially.
Right.
In a weird way, and I know that's not super healthy, and I do take time to do things and have my own stuff going on, but for the most part, I feel like when you get to a point where you're close,
you're in. Yeah, you're 100% in. Yeah,
you're
and
like,
you're close.
You just got to do it.
Yep. Yeah.
It might be 2 years of shit, but then you've made it, and then you can take all the time, have a dog, have 10 dogs. You're good.
Yeah, but then you'll be touring, so it's like, when do you see the dogs?
I got people to take care of my dogs.
Yeah, dude, that's the life. That's the life. That's the dream. Yeah, man. No, that's super cool, man. Well, fuck, it's crazy because I'm stoked to do this podcast, and I know, like, I have a feeling that this is going to be really cool because in whatever, a few months time, 6 months time, a year down the road, like I just know, like, you're like, oh, I have a feeling I was going to be top 10 for that competition. Like, listening to your music, seeing you kind of on that border, I know down the road you're going to be doing some real shit, man. It's super
eventually
cool.
I work
well, you're there,
too
but
hard to not.
Yeah.
In my mind anyways, I put in too much effort for it to be like, if somebody put in as much effort as I did and it like didn't succeed, I'd be confused.
Right.
I'd be like, well, how do you make it work then, you know?
Right. And that's what I love about, I really truly believe in that. Like, I think that this is an interesting thought. If you look at people who have done really anything, it's interesting to play with the idea of, was it like innate skill and talent, or can you now, of course, you can't be fucking I can't be Michael Jordan, right? But there are certain limitations. But
you could be Steve Nash.
You could be Steve Nash. You could be fucking. Yeah. You could see exactly.
He's not too tall.
Exactly. So I really believe that if you put in the time for certain, like, people look at it and be like, oh my gosh, that guy's so skilled, or how did this even happen? But you learn the story, and they worked super, 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 super hard at something for a long time, and then to them, it makes sense. They're like, yeah, I kind of assumed this. Not to be cocky, but I kind of assumed this was going to happen because I'd put in so much time, you know?
Oh, and they all say the same thing. Peter Dinklage, he's like, I'm going to be an actor, and he's like, that's what I did.
Yeah.
I gave up my job. I slept on couches until I could live off being an actor.
Yeah.
And you got to be ready to you got to know and be ready to take that plunge.
Yep.
Like, there'll just be a point where you know.
Yeah.
And then you just do it, you know?
Yeah.
I thought it would be this summer, so I just took the time off just in case. And, like, I'm always prepared at like, the drop of a hat. If I think things are happening, I've got the contingency plans to just fucking start doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You gotta be ready. You just drop everything and do it.
Yeah. That's so fucking cool, man. And, like, to me, like, for myself, it makes me... Like, I'm just having fun with this, honestly. Like, I make music, and I treat it as a hobby that I work really hard on when I can. But me, compared to the amount of time you put into, like, Systemis, it's night and day. I can get in a few hours a day if I'm lucky. But it's almost, like, disrespectful for me to be like, dude, I want to make, like, strides. Because there are people out there that are fucking grinding, you know, and
well,
years
like,
and years
giving up your fucking life for it, you know.
Yeah.
This is like, I've always looked at this like this is the only way. This is the only option. This is what I'm gonna do, because if you have something you care about and you want to make it your life, and you for some reason don't, it's such a waste because you only have one shot.
Totally.
To do exactly what you want to be doing right now.
Yep.
So you have to do it.
Yep.
And if you're not, it's such a disservice to yourself. It's like you're just throwing it away. And not throwing it away like if you have a family and you have a house, and that's a good alternative. But if you don't 110% just try to make it work, then what are you doing? Like, this planet is such a short time we're here.
Totally.
It's like, so you got to put in the time. Like, if I want to go down in fucking the history books or at least make a living off of this at some point, like, say if I'm even 40 years old by the time this all works out, I'll be like, I did it. I did the one thing that I wanted to do on the planet. Yeah. Like, if I wanted to be an astronaut, I'd be the exact same fucking way I am right now.
Right.
I would just go to NASA and work out all the time and be really smart.
Of course, work out. Yes. Yeah. I go to the gym all the time. Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, man. No, I totally agree. And then it makes you question when you see people that are kind of just floating through, It's like, man,
they like want to do it. And they're like, I really want to do this, but they don't do anything.
Right.
They don't put in any work, and you're like, well, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't just expect it to happen.
Oh yeah.
You really gotta fucking work at this shit like every day. If you talk to one person, you gain one follower, and I try my damnedest to get back to everybody all the time, and albeit a lot of the times it takes me a couple days to do it. But you gotta fucking do it.
Oh, yeah.
And I hate that, back whenever I was in this, started in this industry, sending music to people and not getting response from them, or sending messages and stuff like that. it was so annoying to me that whenever anybody's like, can you just listen to this or give me help or whatever, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. I might take a month, but I'm going to get back to you, or at least I'm going to fucking try, or I'm going to send you a message saying, I listened to it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's such a shitty thing. And it was really, put me off a lot as a young producer, just to have people flat out ignore you or kind of be snarky or whatever. Yeah. It's like, why are you being like that? It's like, this is a community. And so many people think albeit some people get very busy, but like at the most part, just send a message back. Just be like, a pre-generated message you can copy and paste. It's like, this is cool.
Right. No, I totally get it, man, because everyone who has gotten to that stage had to have gone through the same thing, So I've been in that same similar situation where I've like sent music to people and have just like didn't hear anything back. Dude, that does hurt, man. Like the next few days I was trying to work on music and it was just nothing. And I was like, I realized a few days later, I was like, oh, I was really mad. Like I was really pissed off. And, and those people had to be in that similar boat when they were young starting out, So I'm on the same boat totally. Like if anyone reaches out to me about anything, I'm always trying to be super open, like, hey, let me help however I can.
Just try. Just put in the minimal effort.
Yeah.
I remember I sent a message to Matt Zoe like 5 years ago, and Matt Zoe, all he responded was, keep at it.
Yeah.
And because I sent him a song and it kind of explained, oh, this song is, blah, 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 blah. And he said, keep at it. And I was like, I will.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to do that.
You responded to me. Yeah, I'll do that. Like, it never opened up a conversation, nothing. It was just like a simple, yep.
Yeah.
You messaged me. And I was like, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I couldn't agree more. And then some of these guys, you'll like, I'm sure you've noticed the same thing. Some people you can reach out to and they're super cool, man. Like, I just don't want to drop specific names, but people on mau5trap, they'll write you back, and even if you're just saying, hey man, the song that you just posted, super, super cool. I really love it. They're always like, thanks man, really appreciate it. Blah, blah.
Yeah,
it's
a
like,
lot of these dudes, cool. Because they know like your fans are everything.
Yeah.
And your peers are everything in this industry. Like if you're a dickhead, everybody knows. Because I in my circle know of a few people who are kind of standoffish and dicks. Not people I know personally, but you hear through the grapevines that certain people are assholes. And then everybody knows you're an asshole.
Yeah.
And everybody talks and it's like, that guy's an asshole.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not good for your career.
No. Not at all.
No. So it's like, it's good just to be, and like, I don't think you have to fake be a good person, but at least just be a good person.
Yeah.
Especially to young and budding producers, like these people, it's their dreams too, and if you give them the time of day, just be like, yeah, this is good, or I like this part of it. You don't even have to give it a lot of, like, advice to ask for feedback and be like, I like that part.
Yeah for sure.
And that's actually why I started that Discord channel. Was a few people asked me for like serious feedback, and I was like, well, if I'm gonna do serious feedback all the time, I'm gonna do like a Patreon and a Discord thing, which I haven't rolled it all out, but that, like, I have somebody on it and I give them all the fucking advice I can, and then there's just the little feedback thing. It's like I'll pop on there and I'll be like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
Because like it's so like you get, even as a guy like me, I get 5 to 10 demos a day, not like demos, but people asking for feedback.
No way. Wow, that's yeah.
And it could be my friends, it could be little producers or anybody. It's like, but you'll get like 5 or 10. Listen to this song. Yeah. Even like some bigger guys, listen to the song. What do you think about it? So I come home and that's the first thing I do is I listen through all of them and I try to, like, I'll give feedback to them or as much as I can, because again, I'm not technically trained in any of this. But I'll do my fucking best, and then I continue on with my day. And if I don't get to it now, I'll get to it tomorrow or the next day or something. But it's like, if I say I'm going to, I make a point of doing it, because you could have somebody who's just like, all they want to hear is somebody they look up to likes this.
Yep.
Or all they want to hear is a peer or a fan likes it, on the other respect of things. Like, I post stuff in there and I'm just like, I genuinely want to know if people like what I'm making now.
Oh yeah I almost think that how I imagine it, moving forward, for someone kind of putting all the time in as you have, and you're kind of at this border where things are really happening, I think almost the most powerful thing is just getting the feedback from all those peers. Like that would be at least be for me. Like if all those guys I know and they're like, ooh, this song, this is good. That's it, man. Like that's so fucking cool.
What a cool thing was, I was on Discord and I got talking to Ocula, and somebody had mentioned that I made a song that was really good. So he's like, let me hear it. And so I sent it to him, and he was like, this is fucking amazing. This is the best thing. And he played it on his, for lack of a better radio. And he was trying to get me to send it to Mau5trap, and I'm like, I don't know if I should right now. So I eventually just ended up posting it. But it felt really good to have somebody on that label be like, this is good enough that I'll play it on the Mau5trap radio.
Dude, yeah, that's fucking huge. That
was dope.
Yeah, because I've kind of thought about this, like, when someone gets famous, right, and let's just imagine someone's playing at like a festival or whatever, it's like, it's cool that you can influence people and they're like, oh, I love this music, whatever. But I think what's crazier is if those top tier people who are making the music and they say, hey, this, like, you get their recognition. To me, that's it, man. That's the coolest.
It means the world, yeah. Well, yeah. I have a weird tangent onto the hip hop world. Eminem put out his new album. Lately, Kamikaze, and it was Hobson posted a video because Eminem rapped about Hobson, saying he inspired the Hobsons, the Coles, all these people, whatever. And Hobson posted a video. He was losing his shit. He's like, I didn't even think Eminem knew who I was. Yeah. And he's like losing it. And he's like, oh my God, this is the best thing. And he's like, I gotta call my mom, because he was so goddamn excited. It's like, this guy owns, fucking Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
He's he's not a mainstream rapper, but he's a successful rapper. And he's just like, oh my God, Eminem said my name. And he's all giddy like a schoolgirl. And you're like, wow, everybody's the exact same. Unless you're Eminem.
Yeah, unless you're Eminem. Yeah, then, yeah. Dude, well, I mean, you've been in that boat. I don't want to keep, for me, I could repeat this same story, like to friends and to my girlfriend. I'm like, I'm about to do this podcast with this dude, Ashe, who Deadmau5 literally likes his music. Like, you're in that same boat, I mean, that's for real, though. Like,
it's so sick. Calling people about it, showing people that video for the first little bit. Calling my mom and being like, I gotta send you this video. Like, Deadmau5 listen to my music. She's like, really? And I was like, yeah. And he really liked it. And she's like, what the fuck? It's like, how did that happen? I'm like, I have a video of it.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Dude, that's so sick. Oh my God.
It's funny because I wished I got more plays on it, but a lot of these guys got like, 20,000 to a million plays. I got 3,000.
Right. I did.
What the fuck?
And I saw like the song that was listed got like a ton, like 100,000 plays, and I was like, yeah, but I don't know. And I don't know how that shit works.
3,000 or something, and I'm like, that sucks. He really liked mine. I got fucking the least amount.
Yeah, I don't know how this shit works, but at the end of the day, for sure, it comes down to like the music has to be really fucking good, right? But you also have to be a marketer at the end of the day too. Like you're like, if you want to make waves in this industry, and like you have been doing, but you can't just make awesome music and just like, if you never send it to anyone or you never promote it or anything, you could make the best music in the world. No one's ever going to know it. No one's ever going to know
if a tree falls in the woods.
Back to trees.
Yeah. Always about trees.
Yeah. If a tree falls in the woods, did Ashe record it?
Yeah, did I record it? Probably.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying? So now, and it's gotten to a crazy point where everyone's promoting the shit out of their music, like on Instagram, right? And I don't know. It's interesting.
Branding is super important, and promotion, like, because you have to have content all the time, different content. Like Instagram, you just got to keep putting out pictures on Instagram, or else people will stop, following you.
Yeah.
And it's every little bit of media that you have, however many followers on different media. It's like a little by little you start to build an empire.
Yeah.
But branding is super important because you could have the best music in the world, and if you're fucking making your artwork on MS Paint, nobody's gonna click on it.
No way. Or it's gonna be so different and edgy that they'll love it. Like if you're tattooing like an MS Paint like really shitty sketch like on the side of your face, you could blow up.
Arguably, yeah, that's fair. You gotta be the first to do it, or like really good at it.
Yeah.
something like that. Like my whole branding now is whale bones.
Oh yeah.
Which don't know why that's what I landed on. It was like my great grandfather was a whaler, and I forget why it was whale bones, because I got the tattoo. Like I have a whale bones tattoo on my arm, and it's kind of to do with that. But I started doing. I wanted to do like a skull or something, and I tried to 3D render it, and I was really shit at that. Like it took too long, and I didn't want to learn it. Yeah. So I ended up just making it with clay one day, and taking a picture of it.
Wait,
all that artwork is clay.
No way, and you did that?
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. I had no idea.
Built it with my thumbs.
Whoa.
Like if you have a second to pop over to the Warsound one and click on that one, that's all the bones, everything. It's all wires and clay and spray paint.
Yeah, because there's the gold one, I know. And then here, like, let me just go over.
That's why it looks so detailed, and it's funny because it looks like 3D rendered.
Right.
In a sense, but it's so much more detailed because it's done on like a professional camera, and it's like a little. It's probably the size of my forearm. Okay. The whole thing.
Dude,
but yeah, that's all clay and shit.
I had no idea. So I'd seen it. I think you had posted a picture of it, maybe again in the Discord when you were like doing new releases. I think, and I saw, but I thought someone had done that like professionally. Like it looks really, really good. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I had no idea you did that. That's fucking crazy.
Hold on.
Yeah, I see it.
You're on Discord right now, right?
Yeah.
I'll just pop you over a message of the.
Yeah, I pulled it up.
Oh yeah, if you look at my Instagram, you can see the whole me building it.
Dude, what? Yeah, man, that's really impressive. And then same thing with Julian. Like Julian did all the work for, like he did all the promotion.
Julian does everything.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, how? Where's the time, man? God. Where?
Well, he's living off of Patreon right now.
Is he really?
He makes it all? Yeah, I don't want to like misquote here. Hold on, I'll just find him. Yeah, because he teaches people and runs a YouTube channel.
I do that.
He's making $965 US a month off Patreon.
It's not bad, dude. I'm one of those contributors, so he'll do that monthly stream, and I'll put my music in there.
No shit.
Yeah, because it's super, like, I'm brand new, man. I played music my whole life, as I mentioned, but like producing, like sitting in front of Ableton and working on this shit's only been like 8 months. So.
Oh man.
Yeah. So like new, but so.
I found you on SoundCloud, and you're doing pretty good.
Thanks, man. Hell yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But like,
I just followed you today, actually.
I saw that. Yeah, I was like, oh fuck yeah. I saw it. I was like, yes. But yeah. So, but he really has helped a lot, because especially when I first started, I mean, it would be like 30-second clips, and I was like, I didn't know about risers or like making it, so it was just junk. And then he's really helped a lot, because he pulled apart some things, and he was like, you need to be EQing this properly here. This is how you approach your bass. Because there's some things I
wish I had that when I was younger, dude. I never had that when I was younger. I only started looking at tutorials like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Because when I was young, I just didn't think of doing that. I'm just like, yeah, it sounds fine.
Yeah.
Because I'm listening to it on shit speakers anyways.
Yeah.
And then when I found out it's like audio quality mattered, I was like, oh, and I watched a few tutorials. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a fucking moron. Oh God, it's just like I was like, I spent all this time. I could have learned how to do it properly, and I would have been leagues ahead. But I just didn't know any better. I just didn't think of it.
Right.
And then I did think of it, and now I know what I'm doing.
And then look at you now.
Yep, exactly. Oh,
that's funny, man. Yeah, I need to get. My cousin has speakers, so it's funny. You said your brother started either. I think you mentioned it in this podcast, or it was when I was listening to Limitless Vibrations, but your brother kind of got you into DJing early on, and it's the same thing with my cousin. Like my cousin introduced me to Deadmau5. This was in like 2008. We started making music together. He was producing for maybe a year after I tried it initially, and that was a time in my life where I was drinking, I was partying, I had no self-discipline, so I picked it up and I was like, I'm gonna be Deadmau5, and I dropped it in 2 months. Like it was so stupid, because if I kept at it then, I would be fucking amazing right now. I hate myself.
Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy seeing these kids who are starting at like 14.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're gonna be the best in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just making sure my mic's still recording. Yeah, it's nuts. I wholeheartedly regret
No, dude.
not learning stuff more. But like even I don't know why I never put it down. As soon as I grabbed it, I was like, this is just what I do now. I'm the guy who does this now, which is super weird.
And you learn self-discipline as you grow older. I think, like, for me, when I was at a young age, I just didn't have it. I didn't know what that meant. Like, I partied a bunch, I drank a bunch, then I went back to school and got my shit together and worked my ass off and got a degree. And then I knew what hard work meant. And now I can apply that to music, and I know, like, what you put in X and you get out Y. Like, there's some equation there. Based on what you put in, you'll get something out. And if you don't put anything in, you don't get anything out, you know?
Exactly. I think I got my work ethic a lot from just my folks and like country kind of ethics and stuff. And because I worked for my dad and all that, and just like the way I was raised and grew up, kind of, it just made me not, and I don't want to say like not a lazy person, but it made me like know what work is, and if you want to achieve something, like you have to do that. Like, you have to put in the work, and I definitely would say that was my parents training me to be that way, you know?
Yeah,
because they do the same thing in different ways. Like, they're redoing their house right now, and they just, like, my dad goes to work every day. He comes home and he works on the house. My mom works on the house, and that's what they do. And I was like, yeah, I do that, but it's like it's just a little different.
Right.
Just a different way of doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And it's important to get that. And I mean, for me, it took me a fucking while to get there. But man, once you realize that fact that you can put effort in and you'll get something out, the whole thing changes, man. Because you can change what comes out. You can literally change your reality based on, if you understand, like, hey, if I put in some work right now, it's gonna suck. But if I do it, I'll be happier in a week or 2 weeks or whatever, you know?
Oh yeah,
it's powerful.
The music is an instant gratification thing. You make a cool melody, you're immediately happy. It's such a pleasurable thing to do, is sit down in front of your computer and just like write a melody, and you're like, I wrote a beautiful melody right now.
It's such a dopamine drop. Something. Yeah. Because I think it's like, I'm definitely addicted when I work on, I know for sure, like sitting in front of the computer working, but you'll be frustrated, then something clicks and you get that like dopamine drop, you know, in your brain, or serotonin dump, and then
the shivers, the hair stands up on your arms, and you're like, oh, this is why I do it. I'm the first person who gets to hear this.
Yeah. And then you go back at it. You're like, all right, let's start it over again, and you just do it repeatedly forever, and then it's over.
There's a video of what is this? Stephen Bodzin. I don't want to butcher his name. Stefan Bodzin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's him at like 40 something making a song, but he's so excited about it, and he's like, and he's like, oh, and he's just listening to a song he did, and I want to be that. Same. I love that.
Oh, I tell my girlfriend, like, you know, we're pretty serious, but that's what I want. I mean, I'm kind of committed now to like keeping on the track of working, but I said, hey, if I do this, like I'm gonna have a studio that's fucking awesome, and I'm gonna work on music at a certain portion of the day, and I'm gonna be 40 or 50 still like cranking out tracks, and
because it's just fun.
Yeah,
it's just like, it's, you know, it's like anything, like playing video games, if that's your thing, or reading books, and like if you find pleasure in doing something as harmless as making music that can bring joy to other people, then fuck, do it. Just do it, you know. Fuck everybody else. You know, when I was in school, like, people thought it was like funny that I was doing this. So like electronic music, like a DJ, and then they do the wicca thing.
Yeah,
because then nobody listened to it because it wasn't big then.
Right.
They're like, what are you doing? Because then it was all pop music,
like
and
90s,
stuff. And then
boy band shit,
David Guetta showed up.
Oh yeah,
and fucking kicked the door down, and I was like, oh, you fucking think it's funny now? And now people from that time are working on electronic music, and they're like, how do you do this? And I'm like, well,
nope.
I've been doing it for 11 years. That's how it sounds this good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I spent the time. It's like, if you want to sound good, you got to put in 11 years.
You got to put in the fucking
not
time.
to that amount, but, you know, like, you just put in the fucking time and get there.
Yeah.
Don't just expect to be making these songs, these bangers, these fucking mouse monophobia masterpieces on, a month's work.
That Rinzin remix is, like, perfect. That thing is so. I love that, man. It's so good.
Man, it made it. Also, I do like the extended mix of the Monophobia track. He played that, which was awesome.
Yeah, I'm seeing Deadmau5 at the end of this month. I'm fucking stoked. But it'll be at a festival, so it'll be like an hour.
Ooh, he's gonna play like shit. He doesn't like playing festivals.
Dude, I saw him on New Year. This is funny. I saw him on New Year's like 2 years ago, and Marshmello played after him. Dude, he fucking hated it. You could tell he was like totally fucking phoning it in. And then everyone was stoked about Marsh. I didn't even know at the time, because I didn't go to these festivals then. My girlfriend and I go quite a bit now, but I didn't even know like really of Marshmello that he was like an ultra star. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I was like,
Marshmellois.com.
Yeah. And I was like, you just missed fucking Deadmau5. People like running in to see Marshmello. I was like, this is a joke.
Yeah. Different generation now.
Yeah.
And like it depends where you go. Like we were in Toronto and we went and saw him, and it was like the craziest like Deadmau5 crowd. Everybody's like, oh my god, dude, so into it.
Yeah.
It was packed too. Like it was fucking. It took us like half an hour to get in.
Yeah.
And we showed up at like 10:30.
Fucking A,
it was
dude.
Nuts.
Dude,
was super sick.
So I have like my Deadmau5 story. When I went to my first ever music festival event, it was in LA, and it was at EDC before they moved it to Vegas. So at this time, music festivals like that were just blowing up. Like they didn't know what to do with them because they would have so many freaking people, and they didn't know how to manage it at that time. So people would be climbing up like 50-foot fences to jump in to get into these festivals. And there were some that were shut down by riot police because they get so out of control and they'd shoot tear gas at fucking music festivals. Like it was a different time, man. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, super, super crazy. So this was the last year it was in LA before they moved it. And right before there was word that like Deadmau5 is going to switch from just like the standard table to his first cube. And it was like when it was the box. And so no one had really seen it, but he revealed it at EDC. And dude, he started with, I still remember it was like that Not Exactly song, but it was the extended mix where it has that piano and there's like the little like line on top of it. And it's just like so beautiful. And the cube it's like you're going through space. Like he has the visuals.
Yeah.
Like, and dude, I just started walking towards the stage. I was like entranced, man. It was so amazing. It was the coolest thing I've ever fucking seen.
His production's awesome.
Oh, dude, so fucking good, man. I'm stoked to see him again. It'll be super cool.
Is he bringing his cube again?
He is, yeah. So he actually released it.
Nice.
He'll bring the new, yeah. So when he played a couple years ago, whatever, he didn't have it, but this will be next level.
We got the mini cube.
Oh, what's the mini cube? I don't even.
But he's got a mini cube for like smaller venues.
Like okay, maybe it'll be that. Yeah.
Well, Rebel is like a kind of warehouse, but their stage can't handle the big cube, so he has the mini cube for stages like that. But if it's a festival, it'll probably be the regular size one.
Yeah, dude,
or the new one.
I'm stoked, man. I'm really, really stoked. It'll be a good time.
You fucking should be.
Fuck. Well, dude, man, I don't know if you realize this, but we cranked out almost 2 hours.
Jesus.
It doesn't feel like that, right?
I didn't think I was gonna last an hour, to be honest.
I
don't feel like I have a ton to talk about, but that's sick.
All right, so that's it for the episode. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I know I did. This guy was super cool, super easy to talk with, and it was awesome just learning that whole process of what it took to start, 10 years ago, get signed, work through this whole process. And now you can see over this long period, he's starting to get a lot of recognition. So I'm really excited to see kind of what comes from here. I'm convinced it's going to be really good things. So really, really, really cool. Now, again, I want to do some promotion for him, make sure that everyone has access to finding more out about Ashe. So go check his SoundCloud, search Ashe. You should be able to find it. He has a song called Little King. So if it doesn't come up right away, maybe search Ashe Little King. You'll find his SoundCloud there. Instagram, same thing, Ashe Official. Same with Twitter as well. So Ashe Official as well. Now, Excuse me, let me just double check there. Yeah, Ashe_official. So that's ASHE_official. Go follow him, check him out, listen to the music. He's on Spotify. He's going to have more stuff up on YouTube now as well. And really, be ready for more releases because I know he's working on a ton of new music, and I know he's going to be making some real impact, I guess is the best way to put it, in terms of releases coming out soon. So really, really cool stuff. Again, go check him out. Go support him. Watch that, go listen to that mixtape that he's going to be putting out of all unique music on Bumpin' the Hump. That's going to be Saturday the 15th, 11 p.m. EDT. And again, that's through Ogie James. You can find Ogie James on Twitter, or you can search Bumpin' the Hump. You can find the radio show online. You can find the Twitter. So all good stuff there. So awesome. Hope everyone loved it. Looking forward to that next episode coming out soon, and we will talk then.